Hello there, my name is Eveline Oehrlich. I am part of the DevOps Institute, and I hope there are a few of you listening in here who are interested in DevOps and to some extent, particularly in a career of DevOps. If there's one thing I want to just right away share with you, there is no better time than now to be in DevOps and in IT. I have been in IT my entire life. I don't know anything else. I know how to cook, but unfortunately, that doesn't really pay the college tuition. So let's get started. As I said, I'm part of the DevOps Institute. We are an association with a lot of great stuff, but really what we're trying to do is we're trying to help and drive the human transformation in the digital age. And for 3 years in a row, we have done some research on what are the key skills for the DevOps human. And as the research lead on that, I want to share with you some of the findings and hopefully inspire you to look in a career which is absolutely exciting, which has a lot of different opportunities. So let's get started. Now, first, I think it's important, the pandemic actually has changed a lot of things, and particularly when we think about the digital services, particularly right now, there's a big conversation in Germany, for example, where I'm based, around the digital card for our vaccinations. Standing up such a thing, of course, has probably in the past would have taken a long time, but we see a lot of organizations who actually are putting together software and a variety of capabilities because they had to. Crossing boundaries and working with people across the different silos has made that possible. And again, the pandemic, which is a crisis in many times, has changed how we work and how we approach things. Now, as I mentioned, in this particular study, which again we did for 3 years now in a row, this has a lot of respondents. We had over 2,000 folks who gave us some input. There are two key things I want to share with you. So during COVID, it hasn't stopped organizations from hiring DevOps. You can see here the data on the on the left-hand side. And the hiring isn't over yet. If you look at LinkedIn, for example, or if you are part of Indeed or other areas and places where people are looking for jobs, there is a tremendous amount of recruiting. Important to know, the salaries, according to Robert Half, of a DevOps engineer, and I'll take that title with a grain of salt. If you need to know more, reach out to me. But the starting salary is at about $97,000 and can go up to $100,000, actually higher than developers. So if that's something interesting to you, not just about salary, but certainly an important thing, but that's quite important to know. Now, there are some challenges I want to talk through, and particularly I want to put that in the light of who we are and what we do in technology, because a lot of the challenges, really, the biggest challenges are around people. But there are structural challenges, process challenges, and technology challenges, but people typically seems to be the one which over my almost 20 years now in consulting and advisory as an IT analyst has been the biggest challenge. Sometimes I have to say I feel like a psychologist where my clients are on the couch and they're asking me a question, what they should be doing, and it isn't about process and it isn't about technology. It's really about structure and it's about people. So let's go further. As I've been based in Colorado, I like to use the journey of a mountain. We're climbing the mountain, but maybe in this case, we're descending the mountain because at the bottom of the mountain is really where there is a lot of rich data, which I want to give you a journey through relative to the skills, which is what we're researching in our research as part of the DevOps Institute. So challenges. The first one is, as I said, people challenges in DevOps. So a lot of people just can't get into the mindset of what this is all about. A lot of other challenges are you need a variety of human skills, and I'll elaborate on those. I'll put in brackets soft skills because I really don't like the word soft anymore because there isn't anything soft about soft skills. They're really hard. And then there is a tremendous hesitation on upskilling. I also like to use that new word instead of training. On the structural challenges, there is layers of management that sometimes means that there is not a lot of move and progress and causes some challenges with making changes. There are silos. Those who are in IT, many of you probably have been, or even not in IT, outside of IT, there are silos, which makes it very, very difficult to introduce change. And there is a lack of skilled leaders, particularly in the digital transformation. I find, and we found in research, even now at the DevOps Institute or in my former position at Forrester Research, that there is a lack of leaders knowing what it takes to actually digitally transform. And that is a significant challenge and a downside for what we need to do in the transformation of how we deliver software and how we help our companies and organizations to be much more successful. And then there's process challenges, of course. There's a lack of discipline in the different teams. There's complexity. There's a lot of challenges around the end-to-end visibility of the software development lifecycle. The pictures of whatever journey maps we have might not be complete. There is only a part of it. It's really hard to establish them. And so it makes it very challenging to actually bring things together. Now, one thing we found, which is quite important from our survey, is that there is a requiring, or there's a variety of good habits which already have been established. So our survey participants told us that they are actually adopting two key ways from the DevOps ways of working. One is that of a learning organization, which is, if you're familiar with DevOps, it's the third way of DevOps, really that continuous learning and experimentation without fear of learning and understanding what's happening. And the second one is safety culture. A safety culture means that I am actually able to make suggestions without being afraid, without being judged, and that I can actually participate in projects and products. Most likely products, again, some language change. We in the DevOps teams don't anymore talk about projects, we actually talk about products. There's lots more to that, but I won't go into that. Now, interestingly, this is from our survey. But on the other side, we also know that when we asked about, does your organization have a formal upskilling training, aka training program in the IT or DevOps team, 39% said they don't have an upskilling program. Now, that means you can look at it from glass half full, glass half empty, and I think I'm the first only German optimist. I would say, well, 61% actually have an upskilling program, which is good. But again, 39 saying that they don't, and actually 10% of those said they didn't know, was a little bit scary. And hopefully you can think about potentially how and where to upskill yourself. Joining this session, and congratulations to Anna and her team, is part of upskilling and actually qualifies for it because you learn a variety of things. All right, we're getting down to the baseline, base one of the mountain. So what can you do? Well, first, I want to inspire you to be a brave member of the DevOps future, because it is going to be a really wild ride, very exciting, but you have to get ready, which means you have to think about a few things relative to capabilities and skills. Now, this research we have done over the 3 years, we have focused on 5 domains. The domains of culture and human skills, the domain of process and framework capabilities and skills, the domain of functional skills, and the intelligent automation and automation skills, and the technology ecosystem and technical skills. So absolutely important that you understand these are the 5 key areas which we're researching relative to what skills are necessary. And hopefully the next few slides, even though they're very data heavy, leave you with some ideas on where you can hone in some of the skills which you need relative to a career in DevOps and a future in DevOps. Now, we wanted to know which of these domains are absolutely must-have skill domains for those who are going down the DevOps journey. So we asked, how would you rate the importance of the following major skill domains for a DevOps team member? And here you can see human aspects and technology ecosystem and automation skills are kind of a bit of a running up now. There's a little bit of story to that. Automation skills this year has become number one. It's almost like the Oscar goes to automation skills. Well, last year, automation skills was actually second and human skills were first. Now, that's pretty typical for a crisis. When there is a crisis like the one we had and still are to some extent in, automating and having the capability and the knowledge to automate, leveraging a variety of platforms is always the one we grasp and grapple to. And then comes some of the soft skills, or as I said, human skills. Third, technology ecosystem. As you know, we've adopted a tremendous amount of different topics such as containers and serverless and of course cloud, which is almost like old age now, but hybrid computing and hybrid computing platforms. And then of course understanding process and frameworks and having some functional skills, including IT operations, maybe some development background, of course, and security and a variety of others. Now I want to share this with you, but I don't want to go into it except focus your eyes on the center, because the execution, the expertise, the experience, and the exploration are going to be important for you for A, evaluate where you are, and B, share with prospects and maybe within your own organization what you have done. Execution means, or is shown in what projects have you actually done, which is absolutely sharing on terms of what are you capable of. Your expertise sometimes could be the certifications you have had, or the degrees, as we're dealing here with a lot of folks who are startup positions and in initial jobs, or over the years. Like, for example, myself, I started out in IT operations, became a developer, have actually I think I've been an SRE before SRE was a job. Plus, I've done a lot of data mining, data analysis. I'm a DBA and system administrator on a variety of things. So I have a lot of expertise, but I'm also a public speaker and I'm a thought leader. Now, on the experience, that goes back to what I already said. It has to do with where have you been in terms of the different projects and products you have been part of. And then last but not least, the exploration. How willing are you to actually get out of the box from where you are today? Just in a quick chat, I shared something with someone who's had a major in economics and she wanted to do something different, which I think is exciting. All right, top must-have human skills. You can see here on the right-hand side, a few others, where on the left-hand side, the top skills relative to human skills: collaboration, problem solving, sharing and knowledge, interpersonal skill, communication skills. On the process framework skills, on the left-hand side, the top 5, concept of service software development, process flow, Agile, Scrum, and SRE, site reliability. On the right-hand side, some other ones, which I think are absolutely exciting: chaos engineering, value stream management, and design thinking, I want to highlight. Again, when we talk about the top 5, there are in the report, which is available on the DevOps.com, DevOpsInstitute.com, there's a lot more detail to that. And again, instead of reading to you the percentage on the left-hand side, what I really want to do is point out some of the things on the right-hand side, which are a lot more exciting relative to what is up and coming. And so again, value stream management, the understanding of how and where value streams and how they look from the beginning to the end, is one which we're seeing highly as a high skill demand relative to the DevOps world. On the functional skills, on the left-hand side, again, the top 5, of course, typical, the IT infrastructure, operations, security, architecture, and application development, but focus on the right-hand side, having testing knowledge, really, if you have been in testing or in QA, or if you are a GRC individual, or if you, like this economics major, would be a great thinking to look into potentially some DevOps. And then business continuity or disaster recovery, a very important topic as we are going digital and a lot of services and products are digital. And then on the automation skills, again, on the left-hand side, not really a surprise, continuous delivery, continuous integration, that's CI/CD with operations and DevSecOps, a very important one because security must be built in. And then on the right-hand side, a few things I want to point out. Data ops and model ops, particularly if you're thinking and are in AI and have interest in that type of data lake work, AI ops is one topic. And then the database administrators are still a very important skill to have, structuring data, leading to, of course, maybe at some point, a data science perspective. All right, technical skills. Cloud platform, not a surprise, having an understanding of different operating systems, containers, application technologies. And then on the right-hand side, for those of us who, and I am not any longer or haven't been part of the mainframe, but there are people out there who still have mainframe skill. It came in at 11% of a must-have skill, which is still exciting because there's a lot of organizations who have systems of records and systems of data in mainframes. So there's nothing wrong with developing your skill or showing off your skill in mainframe. Now, how can you become part of the DevOps journey? A very important question. There is a variety of things to do. So first, of course, I want to say join us in the DevOps Institute. As an association or a membership, we have over 55,000 members. We have ambassadors who are wonderful people. I think we have over 200 ambassadors worldwide who have the ability to carry out the DevOps fire across their organizations, across their companies, and across the world in chapters and things like that. So happy to, if you have questions, to help you determine how to do that. But what also is important that you build, if you are thinking, well, I really like this. This is exciting. I am maybe stuck in my network operations center. I am a SNOC. I'm stuck in system administration. I may be a developer, but I feel like I need to do something else. I want to be much more active. Here are a few guiding things to explore for you. So the first one, of course, having an understanding of what the role is like, have a look at the DevOps Institute report this year, the 2021 Upskilling. But then you also need to think about your own skills. How do you actually, can you determine your capabilities and skills, leverage what I shared with you, that skill framework, again, which is part of the report, which is the circle with all the different skills around that. Looking at those and understanding what are your ambitions, where do you want to go, where are your experiences, where's your expertise, what execution have you had, and then start thinking out of the box, how to explore that further into something which is related. So an example, if you're a system administrator today and might be in an organization, but your organization might be thinking about SRE, Site Reliability Engineer, or maybe not, maybe you need to think about that topic, explore it, understand it, potentially get some certification, do some reading, there's some excellent research out there, and potentially bring it up to your leadership. Maybe there is some greenfield opportunity for you to start something. I recently spoke to a very large bank who has actually done just that. They started out with a pilot of an SRE with 4 people, initiated by an individual, a very important individual, but also a very motivated individual. And today they have over 100 SRE people inside the company, and the team and the individual which started it was extremely happy. Then honestly assess your willingness to change. How willing are you to change? Now, that's very individualistic. I've made a lot of changes in my life, and besides moving from the United States back to Europe after 32 years, but changes in my careers have only given me opportunities. Now, changes don't necessarily need to go up. They can be sideways, and sometimes they go down. And that's nothing wrong with it, because all of that is good for continuously changing and updating and honing what you can do. Then plan and prioritize where you like to grow. Make a list, make a connection, could talk to a peer, reach out to one of us at the DevOps Institute. And for some reason, if you need help, just continue to reach out relative to all of that. And then last but not least, develop the skills which are missing. With that, I hope this helped. If you need more details, happy to connect, coach, help, engage, either myself, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Twitter, or at the DevOps Institute. And with that, hopefully, I gave you some ideas on how to become a DevOps human for the next normal, which we're all in. Thank you so much.